Hello student, today we are going to start a new chapter of biology, reproduction in animal. This chapter is in continuation of your class 7 chapter, that was reproduction in plants. Okay, in that part also we have discussed the reproduction in plant in two categories, asexual and sexual reproduction. Same thing we will do in this chapter also. We will discuss about reproduction in animals into two parts, as sexual reproduction also and asexual reproduction also. Okay. So let us study. So do you recall the process of digestion, circulation and respiration that you have studied in your previous class? Students, there is difference between those processes in your body and the reproduction in your body. What is the main difference between these two processes, these two categories of the processes? All of the processes like circulation, digestion and respiration are essential for your survival. You cannot survive without these processes. But the process of reproduction is not essential for your survival, but this process is essential for the survival of your species. Okay, this is the main difference between these two categories of the processes. Okay, so let us begin our chapter. Okay, what is the definition? Reproduction is essential for the continuation of the species, which we have discussed right now. Imagine what would happen if an organism had not reproduced. Okay, you will realize that reproduction is very important as it ensures the continuation of similar kind of individual generation to generation. Okay, it support, it ensure the continuation of species from generation to generation. Okay, you have already learned in your previous chapter about reproduction, so you must be having the idea what reproduction is. Okay, now in this chapter, as we have discussed, that we are going to discuss about the reproduction in animals. So very first is mode of reproduction. Two modes of reproduction are there. First one is sexual reproduction, second one is asexual reproduction. As the name suggests, asexual reproduction means reproduction that involves single parent. Fusion of two gametes are not there in case of asexual reproduction. In case of sexual reproduction, two parents are required, two gametes are required, and the fusion of that gametes is required in case of sexual reproduction. Okay, so this is the main idea of these two reproduction. Now, see, yeah. So this is the table which you have to write the name of the animals and whether the young ones are there, in whether that animal born young one or whether they lay egg. Okay, so these are the category. So very first is human. As we know that human do not lay egg outside the body. The baby is born inside the mother womb. Okay. Second one is cat. In the case of cat, same thing happened. Dog also. What happened in case of butterfly? But the entire process of reproduction in butterfly is completely different, which we have studied till now. Okay. The process of reproduction in butterfly involves several life stages, from that larva to pupa, from pupa to that your young one. Okay, so process is different in butterfly. In hen, the young one are known as chick. The hen lay egg. Okay, and when cow, and in case of cow lay young one. The baby nurtured inside the mother womb as human. And last one is frog. Again, in case of frog, the whole process of reproduction is different because it involves several life stages. Okay. So let us continue with our very first mode of reproduction, that is your sexual reproduction. Okay. Here the word sex means fusion of two gametes. Okay. So sexual reproduction basically involves fusion of two gametes. Male gamete which comes from male parent of the baby, and female gamete that comes from the female parent of the baby. Okay. Male gamete in animals is known as sperm, and female gamete in the animals is known as ova, okay, or egg cell. Okay, both are similar. So you will remember that plants reproduce sexually, having male and female reproductive part. Can you name this part? I hope you remember stamen and pistil are the reproductive part of plants. In animals also, male and females have different reproductive part or organ. Like plants reproduce reproductive part in animals also produce gametes that fuse to form zygote. Okay, it is the zygote. So you must remember the definition of zygote. What is zygote? Zygote is a cell which is produced by the fusion of male and female gamete. It is the first cell produced by the fusion of male and female gamete. Okay, it is the zygote which developed into new individual. Okay, you all must have gone through this stage in your life. Okay, we all are arise from single cell zygote only. Okay, which developed into individual. This type of reproduction beginning from fusion of male and female gamete is known as sexual reproduction. Okay, now let us study the sexual reproductive part in case of human. Firstly, let us discuss male reproductive organ. Okay.
Yes students, so male reproductive organ, let us study that. Male reproductive organ include pair of testes. When we are talking about testes in plural form, we should write TES, okay, but when we are talking about single testes, then we should write TES. This spelling means single testis and this means pair of testes, okay, plural testes. Two sperm duct also known as your this is your sperm duct. This it's also known as vas deferens, okay. Then your that main reproductive part of males are known as penis, okay. The figure 9.1 shows every part of male reproductive organ clearly. So testis produce the male gamete called sperm. Sperm is the male gamete in case of humans, and in case of most of the animals, million of sperms are produced by the testis. Okay, sperms are produced in testis in million. Then okay, now 9.2 figure shows the diagram of sperm. Okay, you can see that there is a head, then there is a middle piece and the tail region. Okay, sperm is the only cell which is motile. Motile means which can move because of presence of this tail. Okay, no other cell can move, only that sperm cell can move, and sperm is a single cell. Okay, million of these sperms are produced inside the testis. Okay, those sperms are very small in size, each has head, middle piece and a tail. Okay, yes, and this sperm is a single cell. Okay, sperm is a single cell which with all usual cell components, with all the cell components which we have discussed, this sperm is having all those components. Okay, now sperms are produced over here. The area around this testis is known as scrotum. Okay, male reproductive part lie outside the body because the survival of these sperms need lower temperature as compared to body temperature. That's why this scrotum, in the scrotum the testis maintain the temperature around 1 to 3 degree, which is essential for sperm to survive. Okay, then here sperms are produced in each testis, then they move upward with the help of vas deferens or this sperm duct, then they are stored over here, then they open in this uterus. Okay, then they will release from the male reproductive part, penis. Okay, now next is female reproductive part. What is the purpose of tail in the sperm? It provides the movement to the sperm. Okay, second is female reproductive part. Female reproductive organ are in pair again. Two pair of ovaries are there, which we can compare with a pair of testes. Then oviducts are there. Oviducts connect this ovary to the main uterus. Okay, and oviducts are also known as fallopian tubes. Okay, and the uterus, this is the part where baby nurtured inside the female body. Okay, it's very stretchable. Ovary produce female gamete, ova or egg. Okay, in human being, single mature cell is released into oviduct. Okay, single mature cell is released into oviduct by one of the ovary each month. Okay, each month ovaries release, either one of the ovary will release one ovum in the oviduct. Okay, uterus is the part where development of the baby take place. Okay, like sperm, egg is also a single cell. Egg is also a single cell which is produced inside the ovary, and each month one egg is released by either of the ovary in the oviduct. Okay, this is the human ovum, and in the middle nucleus is there. Okay, Bujo, recall that size of an egg in human varies. The egg may be very small. In human, eggs are very small if we compare them with the egg of hen. Okay, small, much larger as in hen. Okay, ostrich egg is the largest. Now, fertilization is the process of fusion of male and female gamete. Okay, fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization. We can divide the fertilization into again two categories: external fertilization and internal fertilization. Okay, now first step in process of reproduction is fusion of male and female gamete, sperm and ovum. When sperm come in contact with egg, one of the sperm may fuse with the egg. Only one. Sperms are released in million, but only one sperm cell get fused with the egg cell. Okay, such fusion of egg and the sperm cell is known as fertilization. During fertilization, nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form single nucleus. Okay, that nucleus of egg cell and nucleus of sperm cell will fuse together to form one single cell. Result in formation of zygote. Very important definition. What is zygote? Fusion of male and female gamete. Fusion of nucleus of male and female gamete will form your zygote. Okay, now this is the figure. That's how sperm attach with the ovum, but only one sperm cell can reach up inside the ovum. Okay, this is the fertilization. All other sperm cell will die. Only one sperm cell can reach up to ovum level. Okay, this is the fusion of the nuclei, fusion of male and female gametes. Okay, and this will form zygote. Zygote is fusion of male and female gamete. Okay, do you know that zygote is the beginning of new individual? Yes, zygote is the first cell of every individual. Process of fertilization is meeting of egg cell from mother and sperm cell from father. So new individual inherit some characteristics from the mother and some from the father. Okay, look at your brother and sister. You will see that your brother and sister will have few characteristics of your father and few characteristics of your mother. Okay, see that if you can recognize some characteristic in them that is similar to those of your mother and your father. Okay, fertilization which take place inside the female body is known as internal fertilization. Okay, when this fertilization process, the fusion of male and female gamete occurs inside the female body, we call it as internal fertilization. But when this fertilization occurs outside the body of the female, outside in the environment, it is known as external fertilization. Example of animal which having this type of fertilization is dogs, cats, hen, okay, and human beings also. Okay, now external fertilization. Yeah, during spring or rainy season, frog and toad move towards the pond and slow flowing stream. I hope you have observed this. When the male and female come together in the water, the female lay eggs in hundreds. Unlike hen egg, frog egg are not covered by shell. Okay, because the hen lays single egg, but in case of frogs, they lay eggs in hundreds. I will discuss why this happens. Okay, and it is comparatively very delicate. A layer of jelly hold these cells together and provide the protection. Jelly layer is there to provide the protection because these eggs are not having shell. Okay, now as the egg are laid, the male deposits sperm over it. Then each sperm swim randomly in the water with the help of long tail. The sperm come in contact with the egg. This result in fertilization. This type of fertilization in which fusion of male and female gamete take place outside the body is known as external fertilization. It is very common in aquatic animal, fish, frog, etc., starfish, okay, etc. All those are having this kind of fertilization. Okay, now have you heard about test tube baby? Let us find it out what it is. Bojo and Paheli teacher once told them that class that some women oviducts are blocked. Sometimes oviducts, fallopian tubes of the women are blocked. These women are unable to bear baby because sperm cannot reach the egg for the fertilization. Okay, so what happened in such cases? Doctor collect egg and sperm outside the body. Doctor collect the egg from the female and sperm from the male, and the doctor make them to fuse outside the body, okay, for few hours, and then keep them for few hours. Such practice is known as IVF, or in vitro fertilization. In vitro means outside the body, fertilization outside the body. This is not external fertilization, this is known as in vitro, because such kind of practice are done by doctors for the women who cannot conceive baby inside the womb, okay. In case fertilization occurs, the zygote is allowed to develop for about a week and then placed inside the mother uterus. For some time, zygote is allowed to grow outside the body. Then doctor place that zygote inside the mother womb, because womb is fine, only oviduct are damaged, okay. Complete development take place in the uterus and baby born like any other baby, okay. Baby born through technique are known as test tube babies, okay. This term is actually misleading because baby cannot grow in test tube. Babies are not growing in test tube. Only zygote are formed outside the mother womb. Then after certain time that zygote is placed inside the mother womb. Okay. Such development is known as test tube development. Now I asked one question, that why animals like frog lay eggs in 100. The real reason is because the development is happening outside the body in the external environment, and these cells are in danger of predators, climate, extreme climate. So that's why female lay egg in 100, so that chance of survival of even a single egg, chance of survival remains, okay. That's why female lay egg in 100. So that out of those 100, at least 10 to 15 eggs survive and they will form zygote. That's why in case of external fertilization, female produces egg in hundreds, okay. In case of internal fertilization, eggs are smaller in quantity, okay. Now, next is, though these animals lay 100 of egg and release million of sperm, all eggs did not fertilize, because we know that external fertilization means a lot of danger for zygote. This is because eggs and sperm got exposed to water movement, wind and rainfall. There are also animals in pond which may feed on eggs. Thus, production of large number of egg and sperm is necessary for external fertilization, okay, so that at least few of them will survive. Now, next is development of embryo, okay. Fertilization result in formation of zygote, which bring to develop an embryo, okay. After zygote, embryo stage come. Zygote divide repeatedly to give balls of cell, okay. Zygote will divide itself to give balls of cell, 100 of cell. This cell then begin to form group that will develop into tissue and that organ, okay. Cell will start dividing into group. They will form different tissues and then organs, okay. This developing structure is known as embryo. First structure is zygote. Second structure is embryo. Zygote, single cell. Embryo, many cell divided into tissue and then organs, okay. The embryo get embedded in the wall of the uterus. The embryo will be attached to the wall of the uterus of the mother for the further development, okay. Otherwise, it will just hang around in the uterus and that embryo will not survive. So, attachment is needed. The embryo continue to develop in the uterus and it gradually develop into body parts, it will gradually develop all the body parts, hand, leg, head, ear, everything, okay. This stage of embryo in which all body parts are identified is known as fetus. First is zygote, then embryo, then fetus, okay. Zygote, single cell, embryo, dividing cells, but yet all structures are not clear, but when all the structures of baby are clear, we call it as fetus. We can tell the fetus is male and female, okay, because now all organs are made. We can see this through this diagram also. This is uterus, okay. Here the this from the ovaries eggs are released. Here the fertilization process occur. Zygote form, that zygote start dividing. You can see that now in this stage we call it as embryo because the zygote is dividing, and when it reach here it will attach to the mother body. Here also it is embryo only, and when we identify all the part of the baby, then we call it as fetus. Okay, you can see that it is attached, that fetus, okay, attached fetus to the attached embryo to the mother's uterine wall. Okay, this is mother uterus wall inside the womb. This is the developing zygote still dividing. Okay, now this is fetus because you can identify every part of this baby. Eyes are identified, nose, lips, ears, every part is identified. Now we call it as fetus. Okay, when the development of the fetus is complete, mother gave birth to the baby. Okay, internal fertilization take place in hen also, but do hen give birth to baby like human? No, they do not give birth to the full grown baby. They will give birth to egg only, and that egg will hatch and then egg will develop into baby. Okay, soon after fertilization, zygote divide repeatedly and transfer down to the oviduct, fallopian duct. As it travel down, many protective layer are formed around that baby, that embryo, that will nurture the baby, provide food to the baby, and plus it will protect the baby. Okay, hard shell that you see in the hen's egg is protective layer. The white shell which you see around the hen's egg, that is protective layer only. After the hard shell is formed around the developing embryo, hen finally lay the egg. Hen will lay the egg when the protective shield is formed. Okay, embryo take around 3 weeks to develop into chick. Okay, it will take around 3 weeks to develop the full grown chick. You must have seen hen sitting on the eggs. I hope you have seen this process. This is hatching. Okay, provide sufficient warmth. The female egg sit on the eggs to provide the warmth, okay, to the eggs so that they can hatch easily. Did you know development of the chick take place inside eggshell during this process? Okay. After chick is completely developed, it bursts open to the eggshell. In animals which undergo external fertilization, development of the embryo take place outside the female body. Okay, the embryo continue to grow within the egg covering, and embryo after the embryo develop, egg hatch and the newborn baby is produced. Okay, now let us divide animals into again 2 categories, oviparous and viviparous. So what is this? Now animal give birth to young one while some animal lay egg. As you know, the animal which give birth to full grown young baby, they are known as viviparous. This includes cow, goat and all the animals which give birth to baby, including human also. Oviparous are the animal which lay eggs, okay, and then that egg will develop into baby. The following activity will help you to understand the difference between these two. Okay, you have to collect eggs of the organism: frog, lizard, butterfly, and moth, hen, crow, and any other bird. If you are able to collect eggs, then you can say that particular animal is oviparous, and if you are not able to collect the eggs, then you can say that particular animal is viviparous. Okay. Eggs of few animals are easy to collect because their mother lay them outside their body. These animals which form you have collected the eggs are example of oviparous, but you would not be able to collect the eggs of dog, cow, cat because these are viviparous animals and they do not lay egg outside the body, including human also. One category is also there, that is ovoviviparous. Ovoviviparous means again they will lay lay egg only, but in this case that egg is nurtured. Okay, the nourishment of the egg start inside the mother womb. So such animals in which nourishment of the egg, not the baby, start inside the womb, but complete nourishment happens outside the body only. So they lie in category between oviparous and viviparous. They are ovoviviparous. Examples of ovoviviparous are sharks, okay, and few other animals also. Okay, now next is young one to adult. The new individual which are born hatch from the egg continue to grow till it become adult. In some animal, young ones may look very different from the adult. Okay, recall the life cycle of silkworm: egg, larva, then caterpillar, pupa, adult. I hope you remember from your class 7 that some animal will be having multiple life stages. For example, moth. For example, silkworm, okay, the stages are egg, then it will form larva, then caterpillar, pupa, adult, okay. Same thing happen in frog also, okay. What happen in frog? Development stages of frogs are, firstly frog will lay eggs, okay, then those egg will fertilized, okay. After fertilization zygote will form, that zygote will develop into tadpole larva, then it will develop into late tadpole or pupa, that tadpole will that form adult frog, okay. The tadpole frog is entirely different from the this adult frog, okay. So egg, then tadpole, which is larva, then adult. Can you imagine tadpole would someday become frog? Similarly, caterpillar or pupa of silkworm look entirely different from the adult of that organism. You can see that tadpole is entirely different from the frog, from the adult frog, okay. Features that present in adult are not found in young ones. Then what happened to the tadpole or the caterpillar? You must have seen beautiful moth emerging from the cocoon. You must have seen cocoon in your life. In the case of tadpole, the transformation of adult capable of jumping and swimming. Adult frog are capable of jumping and swimming. The transformation of larva into adult through drastic changes in the body is known as metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is the term which means the drastic change in body to become adult, okay. Transformation of larva into adult through the drastic change in the body. This is metamorphosis. What about the changes that we observe in the body as we grow? Okay, you must have seen few changes, like when we were baby, we were small, we are not able to walk properly. Then gradually we start learning everything about writing, eating, etc. So these are the changes which you must have observed, okay.